scratch agencies, not for the faint of heart. I don't know if I could have done it.
On today's episode, Courtney and I sit down with Will Plauché, 9-month insurance agency owner, and he's going to be sharing his struggles that he's overcome, how he's having success, how he's leading his territory of over 1,000 agents in auto growth, and what he learned as a high-performing sales producer before he got into agency ownership. With that being said, let's start the show. Hey, welcome to the Insurance Buzz. We are your hosts, Michael and Courtney Weaver. And we have a very special guest with us today, Will Plauché. Will, what's going on, brother?
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Man, we are so excited to have you with us today. You are 9 months into agency ownership, and we're going to be talking about all things that you've learned over the last 9 months. Plus, you were a producer for 5 years prior to opening up your agency, right?
Yep, 5 years right on the dot. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to start there because I see a lot of transition from being in personal production as a producer and then moving into agency. I would love to know what that experience was like and what was the biggest oh my God, I was not prepared for this thing when you got into agency.
Oh man, first I'll say bills, right? All the payroll and the marketing, all the things that I appreciated that my agent took care of, before. I wish I'd have gotten started, but earlier on that. But I would say the biggest thing for me was surrounding myself with the right people. In personal production, right? You're just kind of in your own head, right? You have a task to do every day. You want to make your numbers. But it's the more I got surrounded with good people, other agents, other people. I called them my board of directors, right? My grandfather's on it, and some other people in the community. But yeah, once I started getting surrounded with the right people, I started getting tips and better advice, right? To what's the bigger goal here? You're not going to be in the seat forever, so I would say the biggest hurdle for me was putting myself around the right people.
I'm curious what your criteria is for your board of directors.
Yeah, I prefer them to be gray-haired. That's probably the first one. People that from different walks of life, I get to know them before I just put them on board of directors, right? So I want people from different walks of life. My grandfather was a Colonial Life agency manager for the state of Louisiana for 40 years, and so he was obviously the first one, and we talk just about every day. And people in my church, right, have been married for a long time, right, on the personal side. State Farm agents that have 3 offices, right? With the guy that I'm thinking of, he was the 4th agent in the company to have 3 offices. So he was a good friend of my grandfather, and so those kind of people from different walks of life, people that don't have anything to do with insurance, right? The guy from church, this agent I'm talking about, who knew exactly he produced 7 aspirants and just really put me in the right headspace of like, hey, here's what you have to do to get where you want to go. You want to be a first-round draft pick, all those kind of State Farm mindsets, and then otherwise it's like all the personal stuff, right? Take care of your wife, God, family, State Farm.
Okay. So you said something interesting before we got started with the recording. You said, man, this agency ownership is nothing like I was told, baby. So Well, talk a little bit about what you mean by that.
Yeah, I mean they tell you like have the right number, have the best numbers, right, to get selected. And they in the market I was in, I came in 2018. 2019 was kind of a rough year, but we made it through, and then 2020 hits, right, and the market just takes off. And State Farm, where we were at, we were so competitive. It wasn't like, just looking back on it, compared to today, it was like almost like taking candy from a kid almost. Like our rates were so good. We had really, really positive, the rate environment was just incredible. And so, eligibility was good on homeowners. We're on the coastal zone, so we could actually write, a lot of homes at that point, and we were super competitive across all lines, multi-line and almost everybody. And so I'm thinking, okay, if I can write 100 apps a month, I'm good. Like, put me on track to agency, and we're set. Well, to get to that point, right, you got to have so many leads, right, so many referral sources, and that all costs money. And I don't think I was as prepared as I should have been, right, personally, financially. It took 5 years, so we got to the point, but at that point, I was just so dead set on like, hey, 18 months and I'm out of here, right? I just need such and such dollars in the bank to do it. And I'm glad I was, it was kind of 5 years in that I finally got the opportunity, but um, it's super expensive to run a business compared to, now it's maybe less than other businesses. I know some people have to throw in, millions of dollars to start businesses, but I would say, your lifestyle, don't inflate my lifestyle. And so we tried to keep that in check, but man, yeah, just the money side of things, the clerical things, it's buttons you got to click all day long. That doesn't have to do with like, moving the needle, I would say. So that's kind of frustrating going from a producer where you're doing, all this business and to where like, crap, I gotta put all this, I gotta type all these things in to do my, just clerical things that I wasn't prepared for, right? I want to go produce or I want to sell, but as an agency owner, as an entrepreneur, you got to, focus on your team, right? So that's what I wasn't prepared for. I'm learning it and as I go, but that was kind of the hump I had to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't I don't know what everyone's experience is as a new business owner, but I remember our experience, and we were everything from I was the errand boy, I was the janitor, we were the community liaisons, and luckily we were the two of us, which was nice to have a team that could split up this work. But what you're talking about, unless you are just blessed with a lot of money and a financial backing, there's a lot of things the first, I would say, 2 to 3 years that you have to do as the owner that may not be income producing, that may not move the needle, but somebody has to do it. And you don't have the pay right now to delegate that yet.
Exactly. Exactly. Y'all know, y'all have been through it. We have a very similar background. So yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing, right? If you don't have, 6 figures plus to pour into it day one, right, then you've got to kind of bootstrap it. So that's what we're doing.
I'm curious because you talk about your lifestyle, and I think the thing that we don't talk about enough is the conversation that you have at home about what that transition is going to be, going from being a team member into agency and how those finances are going to shift. I'm curious what that conversation sounded like, and what you've changed in your current lifestyle now that you are in agency and you do own a business.
Yeah, great question. Because I think that's overlooked a lot is lifestyle. And my wife, I love her to death, and she supported me the whole way. I'll tell you the short story. I was 4 months in, and I was like ready to quit, and she's like, no, this is what you're meant to do. Like you're gonna own a business. I always wanted to be a business owner, entrepreneur, like my dad was, and so she was always supportive of me from day one. Right? I mean, I couldn't be here without her. I was telling her this morning, but yeah. So she's naturally frugal. Um, I'm looking at the car I drive now. It's still the same car that actually her dad bought her that car in 2014, and I'm still driving it. And just that example, we lived very modestly. I remember our rent was like $600 for this house back in 2019 when we got married, and we lived in it for 2 years. Right, did all the fixing up ourselves, sold it, made a profit, moved into the next. Just made very slight incremental changes. Because we were actually laughing about it this morning. Like when we were I would have those big commission checks, right? After year one, I'd start seeing, $7,000, $8,000 commission checks, but like the next maybe a month later, it's half that, right? And so you don't want to get too high or too low. You want to kind of stay even keel and know what the end goal was. And she asked me like, what do you need to start your agency, right? How many dollars in the bank? And I would talk to my sales leader and things like that. And so we set that goal. And we didn't go outside of it. We prioritize traveling like y'all do. I love y'all seeing y'all in Arizona and all these cool places. So we always, we prioritize that, but at the same time, our day-to-day lives, we eat leftovers, right? We don't go out to eat and have these extravagant meals. When we do travel, right, it's on a budget. So we wanted to have we always have this certain number we want to get to, and to be comfortable, right? Of course, the way lifestyle has been, the economy has been, you got that number keeps moving up. But we always felt like, she's a nurse, but now a nurse practitioner, so she's committed like her whole education journey really to support me, which is just blows my mind to think about it, right? So I want to reward her by doing the best that I can. But I think lifestyle, I see it in other people, not to judge, but you can pretty much point out the ones that are serious about it versus the ones that are just kind of doing this because they see the pot of the gold at the end. We can't make it all about that pot of gold. It's got to be about taking care of your family.
Mm. So you're 9 months in. What would you say has been one of your I can only imagine all the learning lessons, but what's a learning lesson that you'd like to share today that's like, man, I've learned this over the last 9 months. If somebody's getting into agency ownership, this would help them. Maybe it's something you change. Maybe what's on your mind today, Will?
Man, you said it. We had a call a few months ago, and butts and chairs, butts and chairs. It's a simple uh, way to put things, but the more customers that you can get in front of your face, and even we have video chat like we're doing now, right, for customers, the better success you're going to have, because the way the world works, we are becoming such a transactional, uh, you know, as economically and socially. If we can meet our customers where they're at, talk to them, build a relationship with them. My financial advisor does a great job with me, and I copy what he's doing, with other customers. And like, I don't really care. Let's not talk about money or policy right now. Let's talk about you and get to know you. And we did that for the first month. We've had some conversations and written over $500 in monthly premium just off of like 4 conversations. So that's what really matters in this business. When you get all the fluff kind of goes away. What really matters is talking to your customers. And so every chance I get now, I'm talking to customers. If I'm not super busy and they come in the lobby, I'm shaking their hand and thanking them for their business, and I'm setting appointments for myself right now. We'll eventually get to the point where we can have someone do that for us. But setting up a process to have more butts and chairs, more butts and chairs. That's the key. We're hearing a lot about this. We call it Good Neighbor Connect with State Farm, and it's a way that we can meet more customers where they're at, right? Because the world, if we're outside of just our community, we can meet them 15, 20 minutes, get an update, make sure they're where they need to be, and that has changed my mindset as of late.
I love that one.
So when Michael says that to you and he says, okay, butts and chairs, and I love that piece of advice, what's your action step with that immediately that you go in and implement?
Yeah, it would be these old books that we inherited had these 5-year term policies, right? Y'all might have had some. So that's the first thing I thought of. When you can go in there and have these 5-year terms that have been sitting there for 20 years, right? Just increasing every 5 years. And I talked to an agent. He said, "Here, run the reproposal on this. Show them that you're going to pay. If you live to age 85, you're going to pay this much money versus having a permanent policy. Numbers just make sense." And so the few that we had in the book, I've converted half of them. And so that's an actionable step. That if you have any old life policy that need to be serviced, right, and that's really just an insurance update, right? If anybody has an old term policy that is undervalued, or they need more coverage, right? That is, look at your life policy view, and either convert those or increase those, or just have conversations.
Yeah, I think butts and chairs is such a good takeaway because, and this is for all agency owners, but specifically with you being a newer agency owner, developing relationships with your customers, just because brand loyalty is an all-time low. So it doesn't matter what insurance company out there, what brand is out there, they're doing business with you. They're not doing business with necessarily the company anymore. And so I believe what you're doing is really important, not just from developing relationships. And yes, you're going to get increased production, but on the backside of that, as a business owner, look at the increased retention with the current rate environment that we're in. And so that pays dividends on current customers and onboarding brand new customers, which I know that you're doing. And with the ability now to have virtual appointments, I just think that gives you the ability to meet with so many more people, put a face with a name, establish those relationships. Bro, that's tremendous, because there's a lot of agents that they don't emphasize that anymore. They don't prioritize that.
Yeah.
And this transactional type of relationship that the insurance industry is now experiencing, which is what's increasing the turnover, it's crushing agents, it's crushing carriers. And so you're going back to the basics of, hey, we're in the people business.
Yep.
And that speaks volumes.
I was going to say the same thing. I think meeting with customers is one of the most fulfilling things that you can do. And the thing that I notice especially in the insurance industry, is burnout is at an all-time high.
Yep.
Because we are churning and burning so fast, and we're going, why am I even doing this? So this is one way that you can add back to it and go, okay, I'm actually going to make a difference, which is what I signed up for. I'm going to get paid really well by helping people. Like, it's a wonderful occupation to be in, but if you're not meeting with people and you're not having those conversations, you feel like an order taker.
Oh yeah, and it's just not us obviously telling you should be doing this. I mean, we got our data because we were at a speaking event, and this was one of the things that we were speaking on, and so we did some research. 83% of Gen Zers and 79% of millennials say they want a relationship with their financial advisor, with their insurance professional. That's what you all are. So they want it, yet the offices aren't providing it, and so that's a big deal.
I'm curious, of all the hats that you wear as an agent now, and you went into this and you were talking about expenses and how immediately you had payroll, and that was a huge eye opener for us too. What's the thing that you're glad that you have delegated in agency?
Sales training, what y'all are doing. I mean, y'all got to walk right into that one. Yeah, 'cause the gripe I hear a lot from major insurance carriers in general is the lack of true sales training, where you talk to these older agents, and they used to get together every single month and talk and role play, and you get to hear from the underwriter, right, what they're looking for, and just those things are going away. Again, it's the world's changing, right? And so there used to be a natural sales training by the company that you work for. Now it is up to the agent. They emphasize this independent contractor agreement every single meeting. They don't have any say so over you or your office. So you have to make the best decision for your business, and there is 1,000 sales trainers out there that claim to be the best. And I think God put us together for a reason. You reach out on LinkedIn, right? You use the way you teach people how to approach people. You approach me, and it fell into our hands, serendipitously. And so sales training is probably the most important thing that I was lacking, because again, I could naturally have these relationships, and I knew I was well connected in the community, but I couldn't go teach that, or maybe even spend the time to teach that, or have a script, or you'll have a financial foundation, all the things that y'all have laid out in a very easy way to understand and chew on. That's what I appreciate the most.
I love that you say that. Obviously, that was a softball. I did not mean to throw that one up for you. But I would love to hear your team size and how you implement your sales training.
Yeah, team size right now is 4 or 5. We're bringing on 5. We got actually a remote salesperson. Yeah, it's been great. Things are changing. Things are, it's, I wouldn't say it's a revolving door, but we've had attrition in places. But my goal is to be steady with this to come in 2025 to have 3 full-time producers, at least 1 service person. So, but yeah, things change. You got to make changes. So, 3 producers, me and a service person right now. And how I implement sales training, we're always part of the live calls. I've had my producers read the book, but on a daily basis, I see them pulling up Weaver Sales Academy and watching videos or listening to podcasts, right? And some agents are weird about, hey, while you're at work, you've got to be making phone calls, and I get that, but I say that there's got to be some time to invest in yourself, right? Have that time get out of your own head sometimes, and so I really value these daily, because there's a lot of sales trainers that just put out content and just say, go have it. Y'all are in tune. Y'all are in the crowd with people. Y'all get down and dirty with role plays. I love that, and so that is how I implement it. I turn them loose on Weaver Sales Academy day one, and it's been pretty fruitful.
Brother, you just said something I don't want to go overlooked. And this is amazing, coming from a 9-month agency owner, that you are prioritizing development, growth, and training within your business. Because I just did a podcast episode on this. I don't know if it's going to have been aired or not, but the one thing that separates the absolute best agency owners out there, we're talking the top agencies compared to everybody else, is what you just said. They prioritize training and make it a non-negotiable in their culture, compared to every other agency owner that struggles, says, we don't have time to train, just hit the phones and write more business. The problem is you're not writing more business because your teams aren't trained. I love that mindset, brother. That is so good. So good.
Yeah, got it from y'all. So.
Mm. Yeah, but to actually do it is a
Yeah.
whole nother thing, Will.
Yeah.
To
At 9
actually
months in.
do it and
Yeah.
hold yourself accountable, hold the team accountable, take action on it. That is that's amazing.
Yeah, because you're getting pulled in so many different directions, and you're having to learn in real time how to own a business, how to coach people, how to lead people, how to move very quickly from seat to seat to go, okay, I'm a tech person. Now I'm a marketing person. Now I'm a sales coach. Now I'm back in personal production. Wait, I'm on the phone with underwriting. Like, it's a lot to balance in your head. So the fact that you've prioritized it, I think, is great. So I asked about delegating, what you are so glad that you delegated right away. What's something that you're like, I'm not going to delegate this. I'm going to continue to hang on to this for a while.
Um, to be honest with you, right now, it is those in-person appointments. I'm not requiring my team to do that right now. I have them, calling, making outbound calls, because I know I've realized, making appointments, there's going to be appointments set versus appointments kept, right?
Yep.
I don't know what that ratio is, but there's going to be time where you're going to call that person and set a reminder, and they're not going to respond after you set the appointment. So, long story short, I don't have a specific, like, what I would get to is having someone that just does appointments in the office. I basically have 2 agent aspirants right now, and a couple on 3 with the remote. So I just don't have a process. I haven't built a process around that yet. My focus is on growth, but I want to meet. I was assigned a book, and so I want to be able to meet the current customers, meet new customers. I haven't, not that I'm not ready to delegate that. I'm just not prepared, and don't have a process in place to do that just quite yet.
So, just out of curiosity, because agents right now might be like, okay, great. Are you paying your people, like, if they set the appointment, you close business, does your team get any of the pay from that production?
100%. If they bring it to me, they get the commission.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
So I actually
You were
that was
doing
one of my favorite
appointments
that was one of my favorite things to
all
do.
the way through.
So I didn't actually delegate appointments to help me until year 3. Because I thought it was so, this may be a control thing. Look, I'm very open that I'm a recovering control holic. But starting scratch in where you're at, doesn't matter, scratch, new business, like you're in the same situation. I thought it was really important for customers to develop a relationship with me. And I really feel like that's why our retention was always really good. Even though we were growing at the rates we were growing, our laps can just never crept above that 20%. And for a new market agent that was experiencing rate increases every 5 to 6 months, I really believe it's because we were meeting with our customers. And so I love that. Not saying you have to wait till year 3 like I did. That was a thing that I probably needed to get over. But even when I delegated it to my team, that was one thing that filled me up. Like having financial conversations with customers, making me feel like I was actually making a difference, which is why I signed up for agency ownership. And now everybody's why is a little different. But man, I love that you're doing that.
Well, and I think to your point, we have a tendency to glorify the CEO seat. And so we delegate everything. We start delegating even the things that we love. And so that's why I asked that. So what's the thing that you are loving right now in agency?
Oh man, it is such a blessing to be able to go out in the community and help people from a different perspective. When I say that, I mean, like, I've written up to this point now $2,000 in checks for kids' school lunches, to pay off lunch debt. We have plans to about another kind of, our schools around here, right? They're, some of them are good, some of them are not so good, and so being able to, be in a position where I can donate out of my business's pockets because of the blessing that we've been blessed with, we can bless others. That has been amazing. I love doing that. We did it personally, but not to the scale that we can do it in the business. So yeah, that's my favorite part, is being in, and our social media has grown because of it, and it's had, repercussions on the back end. I think it's great for retention, when you post on social media and your customers get involved, like share your stuff, right? Um, that's what fires me up, right? Is when's our net? We call it quotes for calls. We do it every quarter. Quotes for calls where we support, one school or the other, the school district, because that's our ideal client, right? Is that's where we want to hit. So, that's what gets me kind of up in the morning.
I love that. Okay, and I'm going to speak to everyone who is unknowingly blocking their success. They're blocking their blessings because they're like, who am I to deserve this? I haven't worked hard enough. I haven't done this or I haven't done that. The more you are blessed, the more you are able to bless others. And this is a prime example of that. You're 9 months in, you've already given 2,000 plus. I know there's more sweat equity in that. I know that you've given way more than that. So I just want to affirm that if somebody's listening right now and they're like, oh, I have this, break through that ceiling because your blessings are blessings for somebody else. So saying that, championing that, I love hearing you say that, Will.
Thank you. Thank you.
The world of abundance is the more you give, the more you get in
Oh,
return. So it all like works itself out.
oh yes.
100%.
Well, I want to brag on you for just a second. So you are the number one auto growth insurance agent currently in your company, in your territory, which is about 1,000 agents. That is amazing. So I would ask you if you could pinpoint 1, 2, 3 things that have helped you with that auto growth in the market that we're currently in. Like, this is not an easy market. 2023 to 2025 has been a really hard market. You're a brand new agent. You don't have a huge team by any means. You didn't come in with a ton of money to just buy business. What would you say is equating to your success right now as a new agent?
Yeah, relationships with customers. We ask all of our customers to follow us on Facebook, new customers, existing customers. Uh, Writing quality business, we do buy leads like any new agent is probably. Um, but our onboarding process, I've got a great onboarding representative. I call her our customer relationship specialist. Um, I don't want someone called a receptionist just to be their answering phones, right? They're a office building. They are customer relationship building. Their role is so much more important than they even realize, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's been the key for us. We send basically a goodie bag to every new customer, whether they have a renter's policy or an auto policy or a life policy, or, multi-line household or a single line household. We give all of our new customers goodies with our name on it, right? So they know exactly that they put it on this magnet on the fridge. They see Will Plauché State Farm, call him. Don't call, such and such agency down the street. Um, that's been huge. I mean, that's a little thing that goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
A customer onboarding, I think they're preaching it now. It used to be like you shook everybody's hand, right? But now you can't shake everybody's hand, so you might as well give them some swag. So every time a customer comes in the door, I've got some metal cups or some Yeti cups that I give them, um, just to dig deeper in the household, so we're not losing as much. Of course,
Mhm.
we'll say I'm a new agent, so I don't have as much to lose, but at the same time, I think a lot of our retention is because of our relationship in the community. A lot of our businesses come from like literally across the street from us. There's a huge neighborhood. We've gotten referrals from them. Landon has done a great job of like literally this one neighborhood. He wrote half the houses in the neighborhood just because of one Facebook post. So
Go
yeah,
Landon.
yeah, Atlanta's great, man. He's killed it. So yeah, having those conversations with customers, onboarding process. I encourage every agent to do and have a solid onboarding process, at least 30 days of onboarding. You touch them, text them, call them, thank them, write them a thank you letter, a handwritten thank you letter. So
Mm-hmm.
those
Hell
little
yeah.
things go a long way.
Little things go the longest. Yeah. The little things the best.
Will, can you play in Dreamland with me? Are you
Sure.
okay with that? Okay. So let's fast forward. We have a magic wand and we fast forward to June 1st of 2026. So we are at your 2-year mark. What does that look like for you, dream scenario?
Phew. My office, I would like to have a solid service person. I'm talking like can run circles around underwriters, can go out in the community with me and be at all the events with me, right? That is someone that's gonna be there through thick and thin. Like so many of these older agents, I go in their offices and they've had this, how long it's, Susie been with you? 40 years. And I'm like, holy cow. Uh, Someone that's going to be like that, for me for a long time. I think it's service is underrated in our business,
Hmm.
and then have. I'm just thinking of team structure right now, top of my head. We talk about book size, but I really would like to have 3 really solid producers, at least 1 agent aspirant, and the producers, I mean, like they're not just calling internet leads all day. They're getting referrals. They're in the community. They're talking to realtors, right? I want to be the household name in our Ocean Springs community. It's a small community with 3 agents, and I think we can be the leader, not just in production but relationships, and be top of mind for customers.
Sounds like you already are.
I love this. I love this. All right, let's speak it.
And the thing I love best about that vision is you said, yeah, we could talk what the book size is, but everything was about your team,
People.
and about your organization, about your culture, about your community, which speaks volumes about you and why you're having the success that you're having. So, Will, we appreciate you coming on the Buzz today, brother. If somebody wanted to, let's say they wanted to just follow along maybe on social media, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram probably my 2 top ones. We talk TikTok. I'm not on that. There probably never will be. But no, it's Will.Plauché, Plauche, on Instagram, and Will Plauché on Facebook, and our Facebook page, Will Plauché State Farm Agent, Ocean Springs. Yeah, I'm personal, business. We can talk it all.
Heck yeah, brother. So we appreciate you. For all of those of you that tuned in today, I would love to know what you thought about today's episode, hearing from a brand new 9-month agent that is absolutely crushing. I'd love to know a takeaway, 816-727-7610. Other than that, time and attention are by far our most important assets. We appreciate you tuning in with us today on The Buzz. Go out and make it great. Will, thanks again, brother.
Thank you.